New Orleans and Back is a program where we raise money in DC and we go to New Orleans for a week to help nonprofit organizations there rebuild houses that were destroyed by Hurricane Katrina.
Joining this program, basically high schoolers come back as leaders to not only from helping the New Orleans community, but also helping our DC community with community service projects in the DC area.
We also help low-income neighborhoods, and we teach the children in that neighborhood about what it is to have what it means to have a good community.
A city that has strived through adversity, and because I say that because like the first year that I went, I expected like the people in New Orleans to be like despairing and stuff because there's still houses that need to be rebuilt. But like the people there, I would say like they're jubilant when you talk to them. It's people like on the streets who will randomly say hello to you. They're very hospitable. So to me, that says that New Orleans like is a place that has overcome adversity.
I also want to agree with that. They carry on their tradition ever since the storm, even before that, and like how they're so hospitable with people who are new to New Orleans.
I think New Orleans still have, like I said, like they said, they still have good community. They're still one unit, even with all their culture and stuff like that. Even after 7, almost 8 years after the storm, without any help, they still are able to strive through that and still continue on.
I joined the program originally because I had known about the Hurricane Katrina. I had known about it, but I had never like watched any of like the news specials or anything about it. So I joined the program because I was interested in learning about what happened in New Orleans when the hurricane hit, and then once I joined the program, I was also interested in like helping people reclaim their homes.
The reason I joined the program was because I had primarily joined other leadership programs before regarding like community service projects. So when joining this program, I saw that it wouldn't be any different from what I've done before, and it's 10 times different from the things that I've done in the DMV area, and I really enjoyed the experience.
The reason I joined the program because I thought it would have been a good idea to get out of the city and actually make a difference in somebody else's community, and I thought I would just have fun.
New Orleans and Back is a program about commitment, and that means you have to come in on Saturdays when we're making art to raise money at Eastern Market. You have to come to Eastern Market to sell that art, and even during New Orleans when we're helping the nonprofits rebuilding the homes, you have to be committed to the program. You can't just go because, oh, we're going to New Orleans. You have to go because, one, you want to better the communities, and two, you want to better yourself.
New Orleans is similar to like what Marquis said. It's like a job basically, and it helps you to like stay consistent and committed to what you agreed to do. Especially once you have signed the contract, like you agree to like help out even after when you come to New Orleans to like help teach other people about your experience in New Orleans, as well as when we have like the mentor-mentee system in the New Orleans and Back program, like also keeping in touch with your mentee and making sure that he or she is okay.
You have to come in on Saturdays and spend over an hour on Thursdays after school, every Thursday. And it gets tiring, but whoever can push past that and be committed to the organization, well, that shows that your ability to go to New Orleans, do all the work that we have to do there, and come back.
Requirements for this program, like you don't have to be like a straight A student to join the program. You just have to like maintain good grades
good grades, good behavior, and you don't have to be like the best student, like Tukumbo said, but as long as you're like doing right in school and like you want to better a community, then that's a good requirement. First time I went to New Orleans, I had anger issues and anger control problems. And in New Orleans, we're living in a house with 30 other people, so personalities come in conflict. Like it's a lot of like argument. It's not a lot, but it's arguments and stuff, and you have to learn how to deal with it. And also, you gotta learn like skills to like I learned skills how to manage my anger because there was numerous points where I got angry, but I needed to get past that. So it taught me how to better control my anger.
Basically, it was probably one of the best experiences I've had, like in the U.S. as a country, because usually I've always flown outside the country, but then actually traveling like down south, seeing how New Orleans was as a city, and then seeing comparing it to how D.C. is, and like knowing that there are people out there that do need help, and it's always the little things that make a big difference.
My experience, I wasn't expecting for them to be so like nice when we went down there. I was expecting like everybody to be sad because of Hurricane Katrina and like they just gave up on life. But when I went down there, like we went to the festival, everybody was happy, getting along, and it kind of opened my eyes to see that even though something that bad happened to New Orleans, that they still able to be happy and find joy out of like the littlest things.
I think New Orleans would make me successful in the future. As I mentioned earlier, commitment, because when you become an adult, and even when you become an adult, and while you're in college, and when you get out of college, like commitment is going to be one of the key things to be successful. Like if you have a job, you gotta go in every day on time and stuff, and like you can't just not go into your job when you don't want to. So I feel like commitment is one of like themes that's going to stay with me when I get out of high school.
I think that the program is going to help me in the future by like stepping out of my comfort zone when it comes to like being open to like going to different other organizations and trying to partner with them if I'm running a business, and trying to get my point across when it comes to telling them what exactly I want to do or like how I can help them.
New Orleans will make me successful in the future. Like Marquis said, it will help me prepare and be organized and be on time.
The mentoring process in New Orleans is back. As sophomores, the juniors and seniors are part of the program are mentors to the sophomores, and basically they help them in the program. They give them advice for in school and out of school, and they're basically like that person that they can go to when they need help. And as a junior, you are a mentor to a sophomore, so you're basically building that relationship up for the next generation of students.
We're the junior teachers of the program, so we're taking on a bigger leadership role with the sophomores as well as the juniors. Like, because first we're like passing the torch down to the juniors to mentor the sophomores, and then also we're just trying to make sure that like the sophomores have a good experience, and like as we're setting examples for the program.
The mentoring process is not like only within the program. Like you also mentor them outside of the program, like with their grades, see how they're doing in school, if they need help or anything, and like creates like the sense of like they're your sibling or like your son or daughter. So it's like you just make that connection with somebody that you might not have made a connection with.
Of course. Every time that we go to New Orleans and we help rebuild one of the houses, at the end of the day, the owner will come and talk to us about their experience with Hurricane Katrina and how long they've been living in the house and stuff. And like when those people talk to us that are so like grateful that we took the time out to help them for free and stuff. So I always think we make an impact on the people.
Every time we go to rebuild, especially my first year going, we met two people that whose houses that we rebuild, and they were just truly thankful for our work and what we've contributed.
New Orleans and back really makes a difference, and we can see it in like the people's faces when we go and rebuild their houses. Like they're just so grateful, and like they get really emotional when they tell us their story, and like that sort of makes a connection with them and us. And I really believe that we do make an impact on Katrina victims.
Also, like what was it? Mr. Manning, our teacher, he told us that we were like one of the few organizations of color that go to New Orleans and help out and help rebuild. So I find that to be a very big impact.
It was a house that hadn't been touched in like 5 years, and it was like this jungle around it. And like at the beginning, it felt like this was going to be a lot of work and it's going to be hard, but we got through it. And at the end of the day, if you look, at the end of the day, the house was like clear, like the jungle was gone, all of the stuff was that we cleaned out the yard and stuff, the inside of the house. Even though it was a car in there that hadn't been touched in 5 years either, like we made the inside of the house look good. So the most memorable moment was just the changing of that house, because it is a clear depiction of our hard work.
First year was when we were driving past the houses that haven't been touched in years, and even driving past a school that still had the sign saying like closed for the storm. And as well as Six Flags that still hadn't been like touched. So, and it's like it just showed that like it's been years and they still just haven't even touched anything.
Cleaning out the yard our first year, like we were digging up all the weeds, and like we found like some of the owner's stuff, like her sandals, her kids' toys, some plates, some soap, other stuff like that like everyday things that they use. And to see that it was all underground, you could tell that they haven't been there for a minute.